I just got to move back to the Middle East quickly because we have our correspondent Leland Vittert available from Jerusalem just for a few minutes. And Leland, these Iranian warships heading through the Suez Canal, first time it's happened since the revolution of 1979. How concerned is Israel?
It'd be hard to figure out a way, Jonathan, for them to be any more concerned than they are. In fact, the Prime Minister has said they're watching this situation with the utmost gravity. It looks like in the past couple of hours, although the information about these warships and exactly where they are has been sketchy, it looks like they may now have exited the Suez Canal and are in the Mediterranean, steaming north along the border, along the coastal territorial water border with Israel up to Syria. We're told, though, they are not going to enter into Israeli territorial waters. What's happening with the Israeli military in terms of trying to monitor this situation, we are unclear about. One thing is very clear is that both the Israel, the United States, and a number of other nations view this as a very provocative move by the state of Iran. The question is, why now? It seems as though they may be trying to flex their political muscle here a little bit. Remember, of course, Israel could always count on Egypt to be the political counterweight and the regional counterweight to Iran. No longer does it look like Israel is able to count on that. And Jonathan, you might remember over the past week or so, everyone was trying to figure out, will Egypt actually try and stop these ships from going through? They control the Suez Canal. Will they say no? It appears as though that didn't happen, and that says an awful lot about the state of Israeli-Egyptian relations and also U.S.-Egyptian relations right now.
Leland, just as you were talking there, we're getting this bulletin coming across the wires from the Associated Press. Israel's Vice Prime Minister, Silvan Shalom, told reporters the move is part of an Iranian struggle, quote, against the West for hegemony and control in the Middle East. He says Iran's goal is to show the Arab world, quote, who the new leader is in the Middle East, which fits in, I guess, with what you were saying, that there's this concern that Iran is really trying to seize this moment to become a big, big player in the region.
Well, there's no question about that. And you think about Hosni Mubarak, who ruled Egypt for 30 years. Egypt was considered the mother of the Arab world. Well, all of a sudden, the mother is without a leader, and the leader is now gone. So you have a power vacuum right now in the Middle East, and it seems as though Iran is trying to seize on this moment. Of course, Iran right now is dealing with their own protests that they've been able to at least control and contain right now. So they're having an ability to project power. This is their moment to try and seize the day here in the Middle East and all of a sudden make a few new friends. We know that Iran supports Hezbollah, of course, obviously in Lebanon. They support Syria. They support Hamas in Gaza. Certainly there has been talk, at least, of them trying to move in and exert some control, albeit quietly, into Egypt. So this is a moment for them, and what says more than thumbing your nose at the West than parking a couple of warships off the coast of Israel?
And Leland, if those warships dock in Syria, and one assumes then Israel would be very interested in what might be coming off those ships, because if they offload anything, perhaps rockets, whatever, into Syria, they've got a direct land route to take them to Hezbollah in Lebanon, have they not?
Not only a direct land route, but it's also happened before, of course, Jonathan. A couple of months ago, we were hearing reports that Syria had transferred some Scud missiles to Hezbollah that originated in Iran. So that's certainly a concern, and obviously you have Israeli military and their intelligence apparatuses watching this very closely. It's interesting, though, how somewhat quiet Israel has been about this. The Prime Minister has made a statement or two. The Defense Minister made a statement or two. But you're seeing Israel take this very unusual step back in terms of looking at things much more in a strategic sense than in a tactical sense. Because for Israel right now, at least the way it seems to be playing out for them, is they feel like time is on their side, at least right now, to reevaluate the way the map is going to look. And rather than make sort of traditionally provocative statements or come out and really denounce things like you would see if there was something going on with Hamas or Hezbollah, they seem to be taking a much more reserved, strategic view of the situation and say, all right, what are we going to deal with? How is it going to look in the coming future? In fact, Israel won't even tell us exactly what they're doing as they look after these warships.
Leland, I got 30 seconds left with you. Just very quickly, what is the Israeli reaction right now to events in Libya as well?
I think you see the same thing. Obviously, Muammar Gaddafi, leader Gaddafi, whatever you want to call him, was certainly not a friend of Israel, somebody who was certainly accused of being a state sponsor of terrorism, somebody who had used his lands as training grounds for various terrorist groups. So this is something that is being watched extraordinarily closely in Israel. To give you no other sense, I watch the TVs here in our office. We monitor, of course, all the Arab networks and all the Israeli channels. All 3 Israeli channels carried the leader's speech live. Certainly says something about how important that is.